I've been thinking about a process, often a natural progression that happens to attending physicians that I have personally been observing more and more. And when presented with the idea early on, it sounds terrifying. But then once you're actually going through the process and the steps, it feels right. It might be bittersweet, but it feels right. Um, the most common scenario I see, and there's more than just this one, but the most common one I see is related to physicians who are really interested in making research a part of their careers. You get a job, research time is allocated for, but of course that doesn't make any money unless you're really great at getting grant money. And if that's you, then it's a niche situation. Most people don't have those kinds of connections, and there's only so much money to go around in that realm, right? So there's not a lot of money there. The money is made on the clinical side, and so an employer, they have to be thinking pragmatically. It doesn't make them evil or anything. They are inherently designed to try to eke out more money from you. And so sometimes there can be jobs that are offered that really aren't what they seem, and that's not right. But there's also just things develop over time, and maybe there's even like a new administrator, or there's like a new set of priorities for the practice that you work at or the institution that you're at, and then your allocation of research time goes down gradually, and you could feel the pressure where they want you to get more clinical hours, they want you to do more procedures, they want you to do the money making things. And early on in your attendinghood, you may think, well, I'm going to move, I'm going to find another job that appreciates this balance that I'm trying to achieve. And that there's a time and place for that, and it varies by person. But then as you also get older and you'd like to stop roaming, there can come a point where you realize that as important as research has been in your professional career, all of a sudden these new priorities that are time sensitive, they pop up, and you're like, whoa, okay, what do I do with this? And it's tough because if you've really grown to love something, it's hard to be able to do something that's going to take you away from that. It's almost like you're saying, like, well, I'm not being loyal to my passion or loyal to my priorities that I have set for years. I know in some ways I've felt that way in certain areas, and maybe I'll tell you about that some other time. But in this hypothetical, think about not having to move again, not having that sort of thing to deal with. And so as you contemplate those next steps, you might realize, like, you know what? I've got a new set of priorities. I'd rather not move. I want to be able to buy a house and be really focused on just planting some roots. And that's okay. It is hard though. So to the degree that you have that willingness to be agile and to I'm going to go somewhere else, of course you need to manage your finances around that. You don't want to set down hard roots like buying a home or other things that would make it hard for you to do that if that's really your priority. But there might come a tipping point at which you decide, you know what, I need to adjust, because we change who we are in a way, and you want to lean into that when you can sense that it's real and genuine, because you don't want to miss out on a new set of priorities that could be really fantastic. So I know it's hard with these things that come through, but I've seen them from start to finish, and there's a lot of good that comes, even if such major career adjustments have to be made. And, you know, I'm not necessarily saying that you stick with a toxic job. I don't mean that at all. But, you know, maybe you're not going to find that perfect job, but you could find a really great job where you can earn a good living, feel good about what you do, continue to grow where you live, and extend your social network locally, and cultivate relationships. So all that is like so important. So anyway, that's it.